Hi there and welcome. This is Paige with Craft World, and today we're going to review the assembly for the Tiki Bar Pop-Up Card. Start by cutting out all of the pieces, and there are a lot of pieces. Because many of the pieces are so small, you may find it easier to keep them in a bowl or small container. Fold the bar pieces on the score lines. Glue the tabs inside the adjacent pieces, taking care to carefully match up the edges. Hold this flat while it dries. You will only need to do this once for the small version, but for the large version there are 2 seams on the bar pieces. Glue on the bar base, then flip the card over and glue on the remaining bar base to the back of the piece. Add the bamboo patterned pieces and the bar trim on both sides of the card. As an optional step, you can glue on the 2 reinforcing top trim pieces inside the top edge of the card. The orange shape shows their placement. Add the bar stools to the front of the card. Center them on the front panel and take care that they do not extend below the legs of the bar. You can see me standing the card up to make sure that the bar stool legs are not extending too far down. We have not yet added our happy birthday banner. We're going to do that in a later step. Now we're going to assemble some of the small details. Start by assembling the bottles as shown. The light blue bottle also has a lid, which I failed to capture for this tutorial. If any of these pieces are simply too small for you, just omit them. If you want to add some additional pizzazz, you can add 2 to 3 layers of this Nouveau craft glaze to the bottles and to the cocktail shaker. Assemble the pineapple. Depending on the version you're making, the pieces may look slightly different. If you can't cut the dark green detail, you can draw on that detail as shown in the piece in the upper left of the screen. Assemble the fruit bowl. First glue the bowl onto the backing piece, then add the fruit. Start with the oranges, then the apple, then half the banana, the lime, and the lemon. If you're a glutton for punishment, feel free to add the leaf onto the apple in the large version. Finally, glue the bunch of bananas together. Assemble the tiki drinks. If you had any struggles cutting the top piece, you can draw on the faces as shown in the upper right of the screen. If the straws are too tiny, and they are tiny, just color them in on the backing piece instead. Now we're going to glue all of these small pieces onto the ribs that will span our bar. To glue the ribs inside the bar, start by folding the tabs back on each side of the ribs, then place each rib inside the bar, no glue yet, and just double check the placement. When you're happy with their positioning, begin to glue them in place, starting with rib 3 in the back. Instead of editing this part down to look all smooth and professional and polished, I left in all of my repositioning of and nudging of the pieces so that you can see that this part absolutely is a bit fiddly. Align the ribs so that the top of the tabs align with the top of the bar opening. Take your time and just glue one in place at a time. Then for each one, lay the card flat to ensure that each rib is positioned in the right place for folding the card flat. We haven't added the potted plant yet, so just pretend it's not there. Assemble the banner and pennants. You can use cardstock, vinyl, or a pen for both the greeting and the flowers. Glue the banner inside the top back surface of the card. I forgot to capture this for you. Glue the roof beam to the roof support, taking care not to glue the tabs together. Align the bottom of both pieces and fold the tabs away from each other. Fold the top tabs down as well, bending one to the front and one to the back in each pair. Glue the roof support inside the top rim of the card, centering it front to back as best you can. Then lie the card flat to check the positioning and fit. Fold the roof base and the roof ridge in half on the center scored line. Then attach the thatched roof pieces one at a time. Begin with the piece that has the scored number 1 on it and align it with the first score line. Number 2 aligns with the second score line, and the piece with no number on it aligns with the third score line just off center. Flip the roof around and attach the thatched pieces on the other side, then glue the roof ridge on top of the center as shown. Glue the roof onto the roof supports by centering the roof support left to right inside the roof and gluing the tabs inside the roof. The top of the roof support should be up against the inner center line of the roof. Fold the card flat and press down on the tabs while the glue sets. Assemble the surfboard. The solid blue side is the back of the board. For the hibiscus, I used paper transfer tape to keep the pieces in place. I had never used this before and it worked really well. You can also put the pieces on one at a time or draw the detail on the backing instead. Assemble the 2 layers of sand. Assemble the fishing floats. You can cut the globes out of cardstock or vellum. Now we're going to glue the plant and pot in place. To allow your card to sit flat, use care that the bottom of the pot is higher than the bottom of the bar legs. Glue on the greeting panel for the back of the card and the accent flowers. You can leave this piece blank or have your machine write a sentiment on it before you cut it out. Glue on the surfboard. As you did with the potted plant, double check that the bottom of the sand is higher than the bottom of the bar legs. Add the welcome sign if you made this piece. Then add the fishing floats to the front of the card. If you made these small single floats, you can add one to the potted plant and next to the surfboard. As a reminder, if you struggled getting the rope for the fishing floats to cut, there's an alternate version where the details are drawn on instead. That's it! Your card is ready to send. Well done! As always, if you have any questions or come across any challenges, please let me know.